Tonight's episode of Sheekery has a little more murder than most, and so if you are averse to those kinds of things, you may want to turn this episode off. Fair warning, there is lots and lots of violence. So enjoy the show. What's up, guys? I'm Kiri.
I'm Meru.
I'm Panda Ponycat.
And I'm totally not stabbing her.
AKA Alice. And this is Sheekery! Woo! Woo! Hype, 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 and extra hype for murder. Hype, 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 hype. Tonight, we are introducing... Oh my god.
You lost them all.
We lost them all. Tonight, we're introducing our much beloved topic, finally, after, a month of waiting?
We're no longer Mel Brooksing, everybody.
We're no longer Mel Brooks. We're not doing the Blizzard thing. We're not announcing that we're going to release the thing and then not release the thing, I promise.
Thought about it, though.
We thought about it. Just forever. Just, no, it's coming, guys. Really, this year. Sure.
Sure.
Winter is coming.
Winter is indeed coming.
Definitely.
So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about, I think we primarily have serial killers on our lists, but there are different kinds of mass murdery, multiple murdery type of people. A serial killer typically consists of somebody who kills 3 or more people, usually with large breaks in between their murders. I broke. I'm sorry. You're typing stuff inside Discord, and it's not.
They call it a cooldown period. I believe there has to be an emotional cooldown period between murders.
Yes. Typically, there is some kind of cooldown period in between, and so well.
3 in over a month, apparently.
Yes. According to the website we looked at earlier, yes. 3 killings over a month.
And the reason they tend to span, they try to, kind of time box it to, longer than a month kind of thing, is because there are also spree killers, which are usually multiple murders over a short period of time in more than one location. Aside from that, the very last type of kind of murdery, and believe me, there's a lot, but the kind of one other that we typically hear about are mass murders, and that's usually many people in one incident. There's a whole list on Wikipedia, and it's kind of terrifying. It goes with, assassination, cannibalism, child murder, consensual homicide, contract killing, crime of passion, depraved heart murder, execution-style murder, felony murder rule, feticide, honor killing. Honor killing sounds fun.
Murder clubs?
That's only there's that's not on the list. We could edit the Wikipedia article to include that.
They obviously do not have all the facts that they need.
I'm only halfway through the list, by the way.
You read on the internet, murder clubs are really a thing.
Murder clubs exist.
They do exist.
They do exist. They haven't invited any of us to join.
They need to get with it.
I know, right? That's fine.
Also, I liked one of the fun facts, again, on this website we found, that was 55 interesting facts about serial killings.
That we actually found at the same time. We were both like, hey, look at this thing, and showed each other.
I love how it sounds so much like a teenage, 17 magazine kind of thing. Yes, it sounds like a teenage murder quiz.
What's your favorite color? What kind of stuffed animal do you sleep with?
Okay, but did you talk about college? But anyway, so in this one, it was we classify murderers into 3 categories: organized, disorganized, or mixed.
What do you identify with?
I was the mix is kind of a cop-out. Well, he could be disorganized, or he could be organized. So let's just call him a mix of the 2.
I love how it's it's either you have apples, or oranges, or you have fruit.
Right. Exactly that.
Thanks. Thanks, 51 murderous facts.
Shades of murder.
What else do you have on this list? I'm interested.
Oh, hold on. They mentioned the cooldown period at least twice.
Right.
There were, that was where I got the 90% male murderers, and females make up 65% of the victim pool.
We did, however, find out that number's gone up. There are now 15% between 1800 to 2004 are females. So what? Represent.
Finally represent, folks.
Oh, and this is one that I feel like we should find because we can find it somewhere. Number 49, a board game called Serial Killer created controversy when it was put on the market a few years ago. The winner of the game was the person who had the highest body count at the end of the game, and the game came packaged in a plastic body bag. Why don't we have this?
Oh my god. Somebody go to Amazon. Somebody get on Amazon now.
So I think one of my favorites that's on this list for no reason is number 5, right?
Oh.
The blockbuster movie Seven is a creepy thriller about a serial murderer who contrives to kill his victims in accordance with the 7 deadly sins. Another blockbuster about serial killer is the Oscar-winning thriller Silence of the Lambs. Like, how is that?
Thanks, list.
Interesting fact about, like, if you don't know that, you need to go watch Seven.
So don't get me wrong, 7 was amazing, but I feel like Silence of the Lambs should have been like, this is the murder movie, and then it should have been also this one, not the other way around, because Silence of the Lambs was kind of like the serial killer movie.
Right. Oh, that was creepy. This was fine.
If you don't know, I just got all up into her ear, hair and everything, and said, hello, Clarice.
Oh my god.
Alice isn't terrifying at all.
No.
And of course, number 16, many serial killers will keep souvenirs of their crimes. For example, when Ted Bundy was asked why he took Polaroids of his victims, he said, when you work hard to do something, you don't want to forget it.
Well, he's not wrong.
Also, he described himself the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you'll ever meet.
Yet he's smiling in his picture.
Well, he's got that weird, gross grin. He's not really smiling.
There's a lot. Typically the ones that I've seen that like do the big smiley kind of photos are either the ones that are complete and utter psychopaths like Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy, or they're like Ed Gein and they're just like completely like too dumb to understand what's going on. Like, nah, take my photo. This is great.
This is fun.
I'm a celebrity.
I'm a celebrity. So
there's a lot of facts about being, sexually abused as children.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to roll into that. The special blend of circumstances that often creates serial killers and kind of the science behind it. And yes, that was one of the facts, is the emotional and physical abuse growing up, typically by a close family member like their mother or their father, and usually they have mommy issues. Usually. But it can be either parent or just kind of their general environment. Also, some form of a brain injury is pretty typical with serial killers, which either causes or includes mental illness of some kind.
So we were, right before this, we decided we were going to watch, a serial killer documentary on Netflix to get us in the mood,
Nice.
Why not? So we watched Interview with a Serial Killer.
Blinky McBlinkerson.
Oh, that one's creepy.
He was talking to you in Morse code with his eyeballs.
That guy's creepy.
First off.
He wants us to steal third.
And he's I just find the whole thing I find interesting and funny because at the beginning he says something really obvious. Oh my god, what did he say? Oh, why did you do it? 'Cause I wanted to.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
He's like, 'cause I wanted to.
It was super obvious, he had just said it. And then you could tell he was making up stories the whole time, and he actually blinked less when he was lying, it felt like.
Yeah.
And then in the interview with the psychologist guy, he's like, oh, he's he has all of the scientific reasoning of why he would be a serial killer and all this stuff. And so they were like, so if he wasn't actually molested as a child, it would boggle your mind as to why he did the things he did. And he's like, yes. But we were sitting there talking about it, and I'm like, well, because he was apparently had seizures or something to block out.
There's actually a lot of evidence that he's lying about being molested as a child. But this doctor's like, nope, he had to have been.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because
why would he do it?
So
a
my
lot of
argument-
times sexual abuse is, even if it's not the parents, but even just by another family member or family friend, like usually sexual abuse is something that, can typically screw up a child growing up. And so if they have kind of a combination of that, plus a mental illness or a brain injury of some kind, usually that causes some kind of mental illness, that's kind of what, that's that special little mixture that they just shake up in a bottle and they're like, boom, human, killer,
But look
fine.
at Jeffrey Dahmer. He had a pretty normal upbringing.
True. But I there was something
I think he's
about,
like the exception and not the rule.
No, there was something about Jeffrey Dahmer that lumped him into that mix. Like I think he had like his grandma
He likes
raised
to
him, correct?
dissect aminals.
That, yeah, that's also typically how serial killers start. They usually look for smaller crimes as children that usually is like animal cruelty or arson of some kind, and then they build in like their crimes get worse and worse as they get older. So a lot of times they'll get into theft and then they'll get into like kidnapping or rape or something like that, and then they progress into murder. So usually there's like this whole line of stuff that starts happening as a child and goes all the way through to adulthood when they start committing their crimes.
So one of the murderers I will talk about at some point. I don't know if it'll be tonight or next time. Yeah, next time.
Next time.
Time
He
gadget.
like it's been said that he also had a fairly like rich, like he was rich and all this stuff, like completely normal upbringing.
Yeah.
Didn't have any sort of history of sexual abuse. And I think he just legit went freaking crazy. But back to like the serial killer interview movie thing. My thought process with that is because he was apparently experiencing seizures. It seemed like part of his brain had shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost seems like he was making up the stories to fill in the blanks because he knew what serial killers should have experienced to bring them to that point.
It was definitely skewed that way because you had mentioned it while we were watching it. It made total sense.
Because he's like, well, this is what happens to other people. So that must have been like, maybe he had blackouts in his
That
memory.
must be what happened to me. This must be why I'm doing it because this is how other serial killers do it.
And he blew it way out of proportion and made it really crazy, is what it just came off to me as. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Right.
He wanted that prestige and that like attention, I think, is my side on him at least.
Yeah, and
But
that seems to be like that seems like pretty like ingrained in their personalities, especially the sociopathic and psychopathic ones, right? Is they just want attention and they just really like people paying attention to them, but they don't care about people, which is why they murder them.
Right.
And I think one of the other things is a lot of serial killers, murderers, because they don't experience feelings like other people do because there's something wrong in their brain, they've gone through the motions of like figuring it out. And so they take stories and build upon them in a way to make themselves likable, or like they tell people what they want to hear. And that's why they're so like, that's how they like woo their victims into like getting into the car with them or doing this thing or whatever, to be able to take them somewhere and torture and murder them. So they've become very sympathetic to what people want to hear, even though they don't mean any of it. They just don't care at all.
Right.
Right.
One of the other fun facts that I really liked, this was kind of interesting. More than 60% of them have issues with bedwetting beyond the age of 12.
Oh, I saw that. It was prolonged bedwetting. It's one of the things on the list.
Yeah, that and like bullying and things like that. But that one I found was kind of the most interesting. Like, okay, your kid
doesn't feel like it
kills-
connects. Like you can understand bullying, you can understand abuse and that sort of thing, but like bedwetting.
Well,
But they
I
just-
feel. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they just don't care. Like, I think that's the thing, is that they don't learn to stop, or they don't, I mean, I guess I can't say, I don't actually know, but maybe they don't care to stop because they just don't care that they're like making a mess or doing whatever. I don't know.
Well, typically as kids get older and they're still bedwetting, not quite 12, but right as you start getting into the later years, like well past the potty training years, if they're still wetting their beds, there's typically something like emotionally wrong at home. And that's a not a form of acting out, but kind of a side effect of their emotional state, right? A very broken emotional state. And so I'd
Right.
imagine if they're bedwetting beyond 12, they really haven't learned to cope with life at all.
Right.
That's fair.
It's like they don't have the normal coping skills that other kids have.
Right. And it exhibits itself in, ways like bedwetting.
Hey, good news. I don't think your minion is going to be a murderer.
She will not. No, she is entirely too empathetic. She is like this super empath. So, +1 to me as a parent. I didn't raise a serial killer yet.
Yes.
Best.
Fun fact. I've
Yes,
also begged her not to go and murder a whole bunch of people. Like, just saying, most parents don't explicitly ask their children not to do that, and then they get called into court, and they're like, why were you such a terrible parent? Now nobody can say, well, she never said not to, because I did. I said not to.
I specifically asked her, please don't.
Have you met my mother?
Oh my god.
But did she tell you not to kill anyone?
Every morning when I leave for work.
Well, at least she's done her job.
As far as we're going to talk about on this podcast, you have not yet.
That you know of.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The reason that 15%, only 15% are women serial killers is because women are better at not getting caught.
Or
I
they
think.
do it in Canada where
That's our theory.
it doesn't matter.
That.
Oh my gosh, can we,
Really
for
good.
2 seconds, talk about your Ken and Barbie killers? Just for 2 seconds. Because, oh my god.
Because Canada?
Because Canada! Holy crap.
Oh, Canada.
Well, Canada, she's the one that killed them.
I'm just
But-
saying, like, whenever we want to murder somebody, we take them across the border and we murder them over there.
Yeah, you
That
do
was
it in
also an
Canada.
episode of Criminal Minds, too.
Because Paul Bernardo was a sexual sadist. He absolutely was. And he was also the Scar rapist. He was raping people way before he met Carla.
Right.
And he never killed any of them. The murder didn't start until he got with Carla. And there's all these videotapes of her participating in all these acts, but no, Paul did everything. Really? Because he changed his entire MO after he met you. That doesn't sound shady at all to anyone else.
Yeah, it was interesting because the movie tend to skew it that way to make him look like the one that was like coercing her into doing all the murdery stuff.
What
But
was the movie?
Carla.
Oh, it's just called Carla?
Oh my god, I haven't made you watch this?
oh my god.
Hey, Ferb. I know.
I have to
Why
go.
we have to have murder movie night?
We have to have a murder movie onesie night.
Yes.
Oh my god, with Unsolved Mysteries!
Woohoo! We have a plan.
Yeah, so there's a movie with Misha. The reason that I know about this movie is because I found it in the $5 bin at Walmart, and I was like, oh, Misha Collins. I'll watch this.
Nice.
That is 100% how it happened.
This is
And
amazing.
I've seen it like 100 times now because I still can't fathom how nobody put 2 and 2 together that he wasn't hurting anyone.
Yeah,
he was raping them, and not
He
like
was really into the rape. He was not like, but then he'd let them go. Like
he was all about the rape and then send them on their way because it didn't even occur to him that it was a bad thing he was doing. Nobody died until Carla.
her. Yep.
Until Carla was like, here, have my baby sister.
Her
as a-
sister. Oh my god.
Oh.
Until her sister, of all things. Come
Yeah.
on.
Can you never give me as a Christmas present, please?
I will not. I might give you to Meru.
Okay. I
That's-
won't murder her.
She has a van.
Please don't
Why would you
murder
do
me.
that?
Get into my van, guys.
It's fine.
Well, Paul was upset that Carla wasn't a virgin when they met, but her younger 15-year-old sister was. So she gave her to him for Christmas. Like, I think there was an attempt that wasn't in the movie. Like, they tried to drug her dinner once, but she woke up, so he couldn't actually rape her. So she was a vet tech or something, and she stole some drugs from work, and they knocked her out. And then they videoed both of them raping her.
Yeah,
and then
mind-
she ended up dying.
mind you,
And then
they
it was
filmed,
somehow ruled accidental.
Oh no.
they filmed all of their crimes. All of them.
Wow. That's fascinating. How
But
how
she'd
you
already
get caught?
made a deal. She'd already made a deal before the lawyer like turned the videos over. So they call it the deal with the devil because the deal was already done and they couldn't really do anything more to her because she was like, hey, do you want me to testify against him? I want this and this and this and kind of immunity. So they're like, well, crap.
How many years did she get?
I think like 12 total. I don't think she served all 12.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
she got out on good behavior at some point.
10 or 8 or something way lower than she should have.
Yeah. But
Crazy.
what finally got her caught was a combination of the police were kind of onto him and his rapey needs, right? So they were kind of putting 2 and 2 together with that. But
well,
then
they looked at him a couple times for being the Scarborough rapist.
right. But then what
And
kind of
they
solidified
let
it
him-
was her going to the police about him beating her.
Yikes.
Yeah, they just kind of like, you know.
And she was in the photo that there's a famous photo of her like just looking terrible because she had the crap beat out of her, and this is like the photo that they used to say how she was so battered and he did all these things to her, so we should pity her. She's wearing one of the dead girl's watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was a disturbing movie. So if you ever want to murder somebody, Canada
Go to
seems
Canada.
like a nice place.
Because they're like, oh, she was abused, eh?
I feel like this is the part where like we have to segue into Sheekery does not condone the murdering and or raping or killing of anyone.
Don't condone murder.
And it didn't mean that he didn't hurt anyone by raping them, because obviously raping is a terrible thing that does hurt people. What I meant was he didn't kill anyone.
Right. I just
We still don't condone any actions that are against the law.
right.
We don't condone
And or the
drugging
10 Commandments.
and
Please follow your 10
we
Commandments.
don't condone
/law.
video.
Oh my god. We're a good podcast. It's fine.
All fine.
So
If you need help, if anyone needs help, if anything bad has happened to you in the past, there are helplines. Please call them. We actually do care about you.
We can throw links up.
Yes.
I love that we're like, make up for all the murderous rage talk.
Periodically, we have
Backpedal.
to remind you that we do actually care about other humans. It's just that we find this fascinating.
We are
and it's
empathetic people. We just find non-empathetic people fascinating. It's
because
fun.
how are they so like? It's just crazy to me how you can be that just nonchalant about like this is a thing I do.
It does
It's like,
seriously fascinate
yeah,
me.
I really love beer. I really love to rape people. What?
Okay.
Like, how is that
What?
a thing that you in your brain are like, this is fine?
Right.
That's the thing. It's like as super
so funny.
empathetic people, you find really apathetic people so fascinating. Like, how can you just not have any emotions in you?
Right.
There's always that balance, I guess.
Well,
The
like
evil
in the
good.
movie, he would come home and be like, and she's like, how was your day? And he's like, I just raped someone.
Right. He was so nonchalant about it. It was disturbing. Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's like somebody coming home like, hi, honey, how was your day? Like, oh, it's, you know, great. I did some laundry. I cooked some dinner.
I'm gonna burn your
And he's like, I don't know, I murdered a couple people. It was good. Oh, that sounds lovely. And then they just move on with life like nothing happened.
better chop her up.
Do you need help disposing of the body?
Maybe let the whole foot be in the concrete block. Can I just say?
I
Right.
just cleaned the carpets. Can you take your shoes off so you didn't get blood in the house? Thanks.
You tracking blood again? I just imagine this being like a June Seaver. Like, you track blood into the house again? Just like with her hands on her hips.
Right. And the little apron.
Right. That's what I'm imagining.
Murdering.
Were you murdering again?
I thought you had homework.
You go to your room.
Study for your test before you rape anyone.
Did you make sure to dispose of the body properly?
I love how Maru's over there just all done. She's like, okay, I can't anymore.
I'm picturing it all in my head.
Is this like the third show we now need to reach out to have someone like make a show out
I
of?
don't know if Hulu would pick this one up.
This one probably not. This one might be like a very specific, like HBO, YouTube, niche show. The other ones, however, Hulu should still pick up. Hashtag Hulu. Hashtag pick up those.
Hashtag make Sheekery a star.
Oh god.
Come back to us, Hulu. We know you miss us.
They pieced out on me. They totally stopped following me. Whataburger is still following me though, so just saying, like, I can hook you up with some burgers. I just can't get us
the status of my burrito koozie though? No.
Oh my god, we still make those videos too.
So, Maru, do we want to dive into your serial killer?
Yes. I'm reading more about him, but I want to talk about Charles Edmund Cullen, not Edward Cullen.
Because he was a vegetarian.
Edmund
Cullen. Who I can't remember what they called him exactly. Did he have a name?
Sparkly.
You know, like the Zodiac Killer, the whatever. I don't know.
Did you know BTK tried to name himself a couple times? And everybody was like, you don't get to name yourself. That's
you
not
don't
a
get
thing.
to do that.
You don't get to choose. It's not a superhero name. You don't get to choose it.
He tried so hard though.
He
He
did.
gave it a really good effort.
He put out like 5 or 6 of them. It was ridiculous. Like, here's a couple options, and they're like, no.
Like sending letters to the press and the police. Like, what do you guys think of this? I drew up a logo. You like that? You like that?
I drew up a logo. I have a whole business case around this.
I'm making t-shirts.
Marketing plan.
I'll send you guys some t-shirts and buttons to wear. Why would you do that? Anyway, Cullen was a serial killer who actually killed people who were hospitalized. Mostly, I think it was mostly the elderly. Right?
Oh,
I'm reading my own notes. Yes. Because I think from what I know that he felt that he was helping people.
Right.
That were either, elderly and dying. One of them was like an AIDS patient that he felt like he was helping by injecting him with an overdose of insulin, which would be a horribly painful way to die.
Yikes.
Yeah, something about he didn't want them to go into cardiac or respiratory arrest, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what he was trying to help them avoid.
Yes, he was trying to help them avoid dying by killing them. He was trying to avoid helping them dying by killing them.
Well, that's fine.
But what's interesting about him is that for reading his thing, he tried to kill himself 9 times. Tried to commit suicide.
How did he fail?
I have no idea because he was really good at killing other people. I don't know if it's just that he tried and then gave up. It doesn't really specify, but he was in the U.S. Where was it? He was in the U.S. Navy. When he was, let's see, his mother died in 1978, and then he dropped out of high school and joined the Navy. And then he rose to the rank of petty officer pretty quickly, but at that point he began to show signs of mental instability and then tried to kill himself 7 times in that few years. And so he was medically discharged in 1984, and then he began working in a hospital. And it said he was actually elected president of his nursing class, so he was really good and really smart. But then he tried to kill himself 2 more times.
Jeez.
I'm like, I don't know what's up with that guy.
That's crazy.
I'm assuming the death of his mother was a huge trigger for him.
Right.
That would be a really traumatic event. And then going into Navy with having a mental instability probably triggered more things. But one interesting thing. I'm reading my notes and I didn't take them very well. Like really jumbled.
What I found that was kind of interesting about him is that he also, kind of like that one guy in the movie, the documentary that you guys watched, he also claimed to have had blackouts of memories of murdering his victims. That was interesting.
Yes. He claimed to just not remember what he was doing.
It's like, no.
I don't know what happened.
Documentary said that.
I don't remember killing anybody.
What was funny is one of his last victims actually told someone in the hospital that the sneaky male nurse, her exact words, had injected her as she slept. But nobody believed her. Nobody believed her because she was sick and dying.
What?
So nobody believed her.
Well, maybe she said, I woke up and I saw that they were trying to inject me instead of while I was sleeping. I remember.
Yeah. Right.
I remember that somebody tried to kill me. but I could have been
You
sleeping.
guys, we don't condone injecting people in their sleep. Just keep telling people until somebody listens.
Right.
I don't think that we have many serial killers subscribe to our podcast. Hopefully no budding serial killers subscribe to our podcast.
If you are, could you message me? Because I'm fascinated by you.
Podcasting is not consent.
And apparently, another interesting thing is that people suspected him of killing, and he actually had. Where is it? I can't find the. Somebody talk about something else until I.
So one of my favorite television shows right, is Criminal Minds, as a matter of fact. And of course, I love that it goes into depth, not only about popular current serial killers, but talks a lot about history. They have a lot of really great quotes in the show. But it's fun to kind of get the lowdown, basically everything we've kind of told you, but in a story fashion about how something triggers what's going on, and then the first kill happens, and then they escalate, and the cool off period gets shorter, and they just keep just keep refining what's going on in their lives. It's the most fascinating show, and I get weird dreams, and I'm about 95% certain I'm going to die by serial killer now.
Right.
From that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was a fabulous article recently. I'm going to have to go look it up and post a link for it. But it was talking about how fascinated women are specifically by murder. And they think it's because, one, right, we kind of grow up in a fearful state, right? Somebody's going to kidnap you. Somebody's going to try and rape you. Somebody's going to try and murder you. And then we decide to dive into this echo chamber of murder and rape and terribleness. But it also gives us some power to then turn around and, watch all of this happen, and then watch kind of the outcome of what happens to these murderers or the serial killers and stuff like that. And so they were saying it's this weird mix of you only end up in a bigger echo chamber of, oh my God, I'm going to die. But then at the same time, you're like, yay, go girl for almost killing the killer kind of thing, or getting away, or putting him in jail. It's really hilarious article, and it was so half empowerment and then half you're just making it worse.
You're just making it so much worse. Stop it.
Did you find your fact?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna do this.
I lost it again, but it's here somewhere. Oh God. I can't. Well, apparently, even though he was known to have mental instability, it was documented, and there were dozens of deaths in all the hospitals he worked in, so they kind of suspected him. He was able to keep working because of a national nurse shortage.
Wow. So
it was they kind of had a feeling that all these people are dying where you work, but we really need nurses in the 80s. So he kept working.
Did you happen to see the legal impact of his case?
I don't know if I did see that.
So
see this. Oh, down here, yeah.
So there was a whole crap ton of states ended up adopting new laws to make sure that employers would give better job performance reviews and stuff like that, and note suspicious behavior or any incidents that they may have, and that became law because of this guy in particular, right. Because he was able to I guess move between different facilities or something like that without anybody raising the alarm. So he would go kill a couple people and then move on and kill a couple other people and move somewhere else and kill a couple people. And it was all because nobody was like, oh, well, this old lady popped up and said, he tried to kill me. And nobody believed her. Well, that's coincidence, because so did that guy.
And reading through this, again, he actually tried to kill himself 11 times.
Oh my God.
Twice while he was in a mental health facility.
Well.
So it's how did this guy keep working?
11 times.
How?
A lack of performance reviews.
We're so desperate for nurses. You're pretty. I mean, he was obviously extremely smart and good at his job, because he knew what kind of stuff to inject people with that it wouldn't seem too suspicious.
Pathology.
But yeah, I don't. I believe he is still alive. And he's still in prison. He's serving 127 years in prison.
Oh my God.
Try.
He will probably never get out of prison. So
Yeah,
We need to add technology to the list, Kiri.
if this was Canada, he'd be out already on good behavior.
he is 57 years old and he is not smiling in his picture.
And he's now a Mountie.
It's a very
He
sad
looks like
man.
he's falling asleep
He's a
in
Mountie.
his picture. He's a Mountie.
In the alternative Canadian universe, he's a Mountie.
Which is so interesting to me because he was obviously super smart, but obviously super depressed for the 11 suicide attempts.
We want you guys to know we almost pushed enter like 100 times what we're putting in Discord just now.
Oh my God.
We just have it sitting there, and we occasionally
Waiting.
just hit paste and wait it until it's the appropriate time.
So,
As if this podcast right now was not inappropriate enough.
Please,
If
everybody
you
else.
need help, please ask for it.
please reach out.
There are
We do love
people who
you.
listen, and those people are us.
We love you. And we appreciate your patronage.
Oh my
Also,
God.
just a quick plug. We're thinking about starting up a Patreon and or a sort of subscription-based thing.
All the things we're laughing about when we start, you would actually get to hear them.
You get to hear some of our outtakes that we do before the show starts and get some fun extra features. So if you want to support us, please keep an eye out for all of these things that might happen.
You can be our bra.
Support us. Hashtag support us. Hashtag be our bra. Also, completely different plug.
Commercial interlude.
Bum,
A
bum,
different plug that has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, I know this plug.
Since we do release this on Saturday, keep in mind, everybody, tomorrow, Sunday, is my birthday.
So forget your mothers because it is Panda Pony Cat's birthday, and that is more important.
Please reach out.
Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday
Love
to you.
Forget your mother.
I love murder, and so do you.
Cat's mom. Don't forget Cat's mom. We love Cat's mom.
Don't forget Cat's mom because she's listening.
All right, so
Yeah, anyway, back to our regularly scheduled
back
podcast.
to our regularly scheduled podcast. So we're sitting like close to time, I think. Yeah, it was like at 40 some odd minute. Don't worry, we recorded at least 44 minutes of audio prior to this, but
Fine.
it was at 44 minutes we started and we're at 122. So theoretically, we can totally wrap up this version of the Murder Cast and have another one later.
Yeah.
I love how like all the girls are quiet. They're like, "Oh,
Finally talk about for hours.
We had literally just talked about not doing an extra long episode, and then they're sad when I'm trying to wrap it up.
No, it's totally fine. Just remember, guys, I have two of my favorites in my brain to talk about later. So whether that is next time, which is fine.
I don't want to talk about how many serial killers I have information on.
No, I could talk about serial killers for hours. I narrowed it down to two.
I think I have it narrowed down to 2, but I have so many more. I have so many more.
This is fine.
It's fine. We're going to be doing murder casts in between our cosplay casts and in between
And
our nerd casts.
And in between forever.
Gaming, pop culture.
This will not be the final Murder Monday.
Not the
This
final
is-
Murder Monday.
This is
Just
just my
Murder Saturday.
birthday tomorrow.
Murder Saturday.
It's fine. Murder Monday Saturday.
Monday.
Just don't forget, guys. May 14th. PPK. Wish her happy birthday. Say you love her.
PPK.
What?
PPK.
Guys, I'm turning the big 3-0. I'm telling you this.
Oh, damn.
Doing the thing. I've been alive for 3 decades now.
You know, I'm curious. Keep talking. I gotta search something.
You gotta.
Just keep talking.
Well,
Keep
what I
talking.
talk about now. I talked about Criminal Minds. How much I love that show.
Murder?
I also,
Murder?
not murder related. I watch weird documentaries on Netflix about a guy who was in Austria who kept his daughter locked in a basement and had babies with her. Because that was messed up. Joseph Snitzel Fritz.
Snitzel Fritz.
Fritzl? Joseph Fritzl? Joseph Fritzl is his actual name, not Schnitzel Fritz. But that guy was into stuff too. If you haven't watched that documentary, it's on Netflix. Go find it. It will mess you up because you can't believe people like that exist, but God, they do. I also watch a lot of Forensic Files, which is a tradition among us. Guys, fun fact about us as a Sheekery crew. Fun fact. When we go to hotel rooms, we're not shy about this fun fact. Every time we go to a hotel room, pretty much the TV is always on the ID network.
And then we found out
Forensic Files while we go to sleep. And we learn, this is why if we ever murder people, we're not gonna. But if we do, we ain't getting caught.
So this is the fact I needed to double check. You are getting incredibly close to the prime murder age, by the way. So, right.
What's the prime murder age?
Like I already know I'm gonna?
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna murder people?
So between the ages of 25 to 34, 34.9% of the victims that's the percentage is between the age of 25 and 34. The other major age is between 35 and 54. So, you get to have 2 murder birthdays.
So I'm 32.
Yeah, you're about to go into your second phase of murder, heightened murder age.
I'm so glad we have all these fun facts to keep adding.
I'm about to hit my murder brain.
Apparently, I'd heard on the radio earlier today that if you're looking at a list of serial killers' birthdays, cancer is the most dangerous sign because cancers are serial killers.
Are any of us cancers?
I was just going to ask that. I'm a Sagittarius.
Leo.
I'm an Aries, but my mom's a Cancer,
Oh.
so...
It's fine. It's fine. None of us are cancers.
We're not hanging out with your mom anymore. So
He's gonna murder us. This is what we do now. And she's not gonna get caught because women, we've realized, just don't get caught. That's the secret. She's gonna
pretty sure my mom.
Cakes.
My mom can get
for
away
next
with
time.
murder.
Okay.
Pretty sure my mom can get away
She's
with
gonna
murder.
turn you into tea cakes and soap, guys. Tea cakes and soap.
tea cakes and soap.
That's my teaser for next time.
Scrub-a-dub-dub, murdering.
And on that note, I'm Kiri.
I'm Meru.
I'm Panda Pony Cat. Happy birthday to me.
I'm Alice. Also, happy birthday to Panda Pony Cat.
And this has been